Guys, I am back and we are back to normal programming. I am feeling a little bit more settled. As you can see, I look less tired than the previous video. It was really bad. The July was really, the energy of July was quite intense for me. If you have not listened to my previous video, please do so. And also do listen to the wise woman as well. But essentially, we are back to normal programming. And I want to honor you and do the final of the female archetypes. And today I'm doing the healer. And I'm doing it last because, first of all, for me, it's one of the most important. I think they're all important, but it's one of the most important given the times that we find ourselves in. And I wanted to do it justice. I didn't want to do it before I was ready and settled, just because I want to be consistent on YouTube. Consistency has just never really been a problem for me, so I wasn't too worried about that. But I wanted to be in a state where I'm really settled and I'm giving it the attention that it needs, so that you understand what we are talking about when we are talking about a healer. So I'm going to wear my glasses as usual and then get straight into it. Okay, so many people think that the healer is a sangoma, someone who goes for initiation. Yes, it is. People think a healer is a therapist, a doctor, someone who is in the healing arts, a life coach like myself who is a healer, and any other healing medicine, whether traditional, whether Western, whether alternative, as they call it. People assume that those are the categories where the healer lives, and that's where it is. I mean, that's where healing finds most expression. It is done 90%, 80, 100% of the time. I operate as a healer. A bulk of my work, in fact, 100% of my work is really in the healing space. I am a teacher, I'm a life coach, psycho-spiritual coach. So I'm always involved in people's issues, people's brokenness, people's hurt, people's wounding, and so on. So I operate as a healer in that space. I don't throw bones. I am not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a Western. I don't even dispense any medicine, but I heal through my way of being, my listening, my understanding, using the wise woman within. And that's where my healing abilities are. So healing as a practice, it is much, much older. It is older than any profession. It is as old as time, because healing came naturally with Mother Earth. It came as the earth itself was being created. It came naturally, knowing how to heal itself. And as you know, earth is considered a feminine entity. It is a mother, hence we call her Mother Earth. And the other great, great mother, the mother of the earth, the mother of the mother, the grandmother, is the moon, which is also a feminine entity. So healing as a modality or as a practice is very, very ancient, and it comes with an intelligence that comes with the feminine. So if you are a woman person, if you are in a female body and you embody a feminine energy, you instinctively, naturally come with the healing intelligence. You know how to heal yourself. And it makes sense, doesn't it? Because if you look at the coaching and healing space, particularly here in South Africa, well, I think even the world over, the people who naturally gravitate towards the healing, who naturally want a coach, who naturally approach a sangoma, who naturally even go to doctors, traditional doctors, go to any household, you will find that it's always the wife or the mother or the female partner who's going to the doctor, who's pushing the other partner to also go and consult. So we want to be healed. We understand healing. We just don't know that it is something that we also innately have. Every woman innately carries it. And if you've been any of my students, if you've been at Stretch or you've come to me for coaching or you're one of my former clients, you will know that I would always refer to you as a teacher or a healer, because I know that people who are drawn to people like me, who are drawn to healers, to teachers, they are recognizing something within them that is a healer. So the question is not whether you are or not. As a feminine person, you have it. The question is, have you tapped into it? Have you awakened it? In my coaching space, especially people who came to coaching this year, almost all of them are healers in practice, And even though they don't know that they're doing the healing work, it takes sessions for me to show them that, yeah, you actually are part of the healing space. This is where you're healing. And you'll hear as we continue with the video, how you know that the healer part of you is activated, or the healer part of you is activated, but you are not aware of it. And you'll see those telltales. It shows up as a shadow. It sips through you as a shadow. And I'll get there when I get. So what exactly then is the healer? How do you know that you are a healer, or how do you know the part of you that is healing? So the healer, first of all, a healer restores life. She brings people back to themselves. What I mean by that, and I'll give you an example of my mother. My mother was a healer through and through. And it's just a pity that she only started admitting to this towards the end of her life. My mom died, I think she died before her time, because I remember after her passing, I felt like her life was cut short, which is a story that I will share in my next book. But she died at 63. When she was turning 60, she was starting to go back to her true nature, which is that of a healer. My mom was a herbalist. If you've been following the channel for a while, I'm sure I've mentioned it a few times in previous videos. So she would be the person that would mix things naturally, and she would create oils, she would create things to drink. She'd just know these things. So it's innate, it was innately in her. So my mom was a healer, but not only with the herbal things, even her energy, the energy that she carried was very restorative. And I remember after my bankruptcy in 2007, I went back home with all my children, and I really felt like I was resurrected home. I felt restored. And you know that you could easily argue to say, yeah, but kiko hae, ke mama hao. Some homes are not like that. I know of people who've gone home and they found hostility. The healer aspect of the mother was not activated. Instead, it was just something else. So my mom literally opened up to me in a way that most mothers did not. I felt healed by her. I felt resurrected by her because I was going through a very, very, very troublesome time. So the healer part of you, the healer part of every woman is the one that makes everybody feel comfortable and feel safe and feel like they can let their guard down and feel like they can calm their nervous systems. Our nervous system is so dysregulated these days, especially these times that we are going through. A healer's role, the activated healer, is the one that whenever you are in their space, you do feel a sense of calm. You actually feel like you can actually let your guard down. This is why life coaches are so, so important, because that's essentially what we do. Our presence, or a presence of a healer that you trust, that you go to, needs to do that. It needs to immediately calm you down and immediately make all your guard really lower a little bit. Maybe not immediately, but you know that you can do that over time. The healer is the part of a person that restores hope in another, that almost inspires as well, although that's more of a teacher, which is just a whole, it's almost like a sub, of a healer. So I'm talking about the healer holistically. The teacher falls under healing, but it's a sub. It does other things. Like I said, I mean, these are very long teachings, and YouTube is really just a taste. A healer will help you reconnect what has been fragmented, what has been wounded. So essentially, a healer will make you whole. You will feel like you are being whole, or even if it is just for a moment, it's just for that moment in time. You feel like you were healed. Ultimately, healing will make you feel whole. It returns you to default setting. It returns you to who you are. It heals, restores wounds. It washes them away. It reconnects what was fragmented. It realigns what was out of alignment. And it happens in many, many ways. Hence, I said to you earlier that, while therapists, doctors, sangomas, coaches might be in the healing space, in the healing field, healing does not only happen there, which is why you can be healed by an artist that sings. I know Nina Simone, for an example. Nina Simone was a healer through and through. I'm getting chills just thinking about her music. Now you know that's a healer. You know that's a healer. Tracy Chapman, for me, is another one. You can immediately probably think of a musician that you know, that when you think about their music, you already feel restored. You already feel hope. You already feel healed. You already feel revived. So some people, music does that for them, but not all music is healing. We all know that, right? We all know that. So music or a musician, touch is can be healing. People who are masseuse, you know, the massage therapist, which is why I'm very, very careful with my body, with who touches me. I don't go to, and I'm not going to mention names here because, you know, I don't want to be sued, but I don't go to your famous massage spaces. And I'm not saying that the masseuses, they don't know what they're doing, but I want to go to a specific massage therapist because I understand the power of touch. It's actually one of the most potent healing modalities to touch and massage somebody. So the hands are healing. Our hands are magical. You know, they say that the hands are extensions of the heart. So whatever is in your heart and then it touches your body, yeah, you want to be clear that that person is not there as a profession per se to make money. They are actually healers. So touching is also healing. So music, touch. Another form of healing is food. Chefs are healers. Chefs are healers through and through. I mean, we all know that, but food is your medicine. Make your food your medicine. But beyond that, if you have the best meal cooked by the best chefs, and I'm not saying a Michelin star, but you would know when you're eating a meal that will restore your soul, that will heal you. Food itself is just a whole interesting subject around healing. A prayer woman, a pastor, a prophet, those are healing. Prayer can be a deeply, deeply healing modality, and not everybody can pray in a way that heals you. You get those people who are called prayer warriors, and I don't mean hashtag prayer warrior. I mean real prayer warriors who would say things like, I'm going to pray for you for this situation to be restored. And they indeed pray with you, and it does get healed. Even if it doesn't get healed or your situation changes magically, but during that prayer, I mean, I'm reminded of, I don't know why I'm getting emotional. I'm getting emotional because I'm reminded of, I just didn't expect the emotion to return. When my Facebook Alone book one turned 10 years old in 2024, I had a couple of launches around the town, around here in Beaufort West. And I had the major one or the big one in Johannesburg, my 10-year anniversary. And the one that I had here in our local library, it was such a big affair. I mean, think of a small town. The mayor was there, the locals were there, the police were there, the social workers were there. It's the beauty of a small town. And everybody that was dignified, you know, the dignitaries, the celebrities of the town showed up. And then there was this woman who was a pastor. I can't forget her face, but I forgot her name. But I will never forget how she made me feel. And before we opened the ceremony, after the MC had done her thing, and then she said, let's open with a prayer. That woman prayed. Yeah. So prayer or prayer warriors are healers because that's the modality they use, healing, praying. Storytelling is healing. Gqinamhlophe, yes, I nearly butchered her name. Gqinamhlophe is a healer through and through. Think of any storyteller you can think of. Storytelling, storytellers are healers. So I hope you are locating yourself in this so that you don't say that you're not a healer and you're thinking healing is only Bungoma. Mutotwa is saying that is part of it, but it's not the only one. And that's why I'm opening it up so much. And that's why I wanted to actually do it justice. And another one that you may have not even thought about is laughter. Comedians. Comedians are healers. In fact, almost all the arts, you know, I don't know if comedy falls under the arts, but the arts, you know, your music, your dancers. You know, you can watch someone dance and cry. You can watch someone sing and cry, but that you are and get so healed and so moved, you know. And then you can go to a comedy show and laugh your heart out and come back healed. So there's a little bit more, but I just thought these are the easy ones for you that I wanted to just share for it. You don't think that healing is just such a narrow thing. It's actually quite huge. And it is an ancient feminine trait. And remember when we were doing energies, feminine and masculine energies, just because it's a feminine trait, it doesn't mean that men do not possess it. That's why we have male healers, male doctors, male coaches, and so on. But I just wanted to make that distinction. But it is a quintessentially feminine quality, feminine thing, the healer.